Welcome back. One of the key focus areas as South Africa battles daily power cuts is reform in the electricity sector. This includes a 2021 deadline of increasing the role of independent power producers, restructuring state-owned enterprise Eskom, and addressing inefficiencies in municipalities' management of electricity distribution. To talk a little bit further about this, Dirk de Vos is an energy analyst and director of QED Solution. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. de Vos. I'm sure you may have listened in on the President's address earlier on. So let's just talk about what some think tanks have said, for instance, that over the next 500 days, it's going to be very critical for South Africa's future. Why so, and what do you think we should be focusing on for now?
Well, I think it's critical for the economy. The problems with the electricity sector are different in the sense that they're going to take time to resolve. We're going to have to learn to adapt, and there are measures that need to be brought in, given that load shedding is part of the immediate future, and at least for the next 500 days. But we need to make a start. We can't keep doing this. We should have embarked on this path many, many years ago. But, as the Chinese saying, the best time to have planted a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today. So that's good.
So we obviously are continuing this conversation with you. We're speaking to another economist earlier on. In terms of increasing the procurement and a threshold for IPPs, so Operation Vulindlela, their dashboard says at the moment, that as of today, Thursday, the energy procurement of 2,000 megawatts of power has been completed. So that's alongside the implementation of Eskom's short-term power purchase program. What effectively does this mean? Can we see light at the end of the tunnel? Because what some have said, well, it's all very well and good, but it's mid to long term.
Yes, so that is true. And I think, we just have to understand that these things will take time and that these problems can't be resolved immediately. And we need to ready ourselves and prepare ourselves for the inconvenience and the damage to the economy, and we've got to minimize that. I do think that we are on the path, and we have now started, I think, very seriously to be on the path to get us out of where we are. But I think that, even with the emergency procurement that has taken place, that will take a lot of time to resolve, and there's controversy around that as well. So we are really stuck with load shedding for some time yet.
So addressing the debt owed to Eskom, we know that municipalities are one of those. They'll have the ability to purchase from independent power producers. But those who say, though, that the Municipal Finance Management Act makes it difficult, do you agree with this?
That's true, and it is difficult. So we have a system set up which is based on Eskom providing cheap and reliable, abundant electricity. And, everything is set up around that sort of assumption. And while the reality has changed, we haven't changed the starting assumptions. So municipal procurement of energy is difficult. One of the ways that we're going to have to think carefully about how to make that less of a problem. One of the ways, of course, is to allow big consumers of electricity to procure themselves and then use the municipal network as sort of a wheeling, as the network over which privately procured electricity is transported.
Are we doing enough to unlock market barriers to distribution generation projects, tax break incentives, for instance?
No, we're not. And in a way, because we've had so much focus on Eskom and the failings of Eskom, we have failed to give enough attention to exactly what you're saying, which is the smaller issues that can make a really big difference. And those are the small differences that can make a difference to load shedding and quite immediately. I mean, not to take the problem off the table, of course, but to start to really make significant inroads into what needs to be done. So the municipal networks do need to be looked at, and there needs to be a complete fresh look at how existing infrastructure in the municipalities can be used and can be used differently. But these things do take time. There are a number of measures, I think, that could be implemented really quickly with a reasonably large impact. But it is, as you say, in the municipal area that I think the most amount of progress can be made immediately.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Dirk de Vos is an energy analyst and director of QED Solution.